Hi friends, welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. My name is JP and this is JUNODROME Tarot. Okay, so we're kind of going a little bit old school today and we're doing a simple 2-pile reading with messages on what the universe needs you to know right now. So we have 2 piles to choose from today. We have this moon pile and the feather. So take a look at these 2 piles. In a moment, I will let you choose which one is calling out to you. Whichever pile seems to be jumping out to you the most is your pile with the information for you. So take a look at these. I'm going to put the next 30 seconds open to allowing you to choose which one jumps out at you. Once you figure that out, down below in the description section of this video, you will find a link to where in the video your reading lies. So in a moment, I will let you choose your pile, bringing you important and open messages of whatever the universe needs you to know right now. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading for what message, what important information does the universe need you to know in this moment. This is an open-ended reading. Whenever you find this reading, that it means it is meant for you in this moment, bringing you an important message that the universe needs you to know right now. So for you, pile number 1, you chose the pile with this beautiful moon card. And on the back it says, "Trust in dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity." So there's a real importance in focusing on your dreams right now, pile number 1. So for whatever reason, whatever's happening in your life, there is very important information for you coming to you in your dreams. And part of what the universe needs you to know right now, the messages coming from the universe, are that your dreams are holding really deeply vital information for you. So really start paying attention. I don't know if you keep a dream journal potentially, but you may want to start one. I know it's tricky sometimes really figuring out how to keep track of your dreams, and maybe you don't remember them completely when you wake up, but one thing you could start doing that may help you is set an intention for yourself when you go to bed. Tell yourself, okay, I am going to remember my dreams tonight, and then you go to sleep, right? And then when you wake up in the morning, you're more likely to remember them. The other thing about this is if you even if you have, like, for me at least, like, I have a little voice memo on my phone that helps me out. So on my phone, I have the information, not a voice memo, sorry, a note in my notes app, and I just type what my dreams are. So even if it's just like you remember one thing and you type like, oh, I had that weird dream about space monkeys, even that alone can really help you. So pay attention to those dreams. There's something important there. Okay, so yeah, so let's see. We have a couple of cards here. We have a bunch of tarot, but then we also have some oracles. Normally I do the oracles at the end, but for whatever reason, I'm feeling called to do oracles first. So we'll start with this one here. This is from the Forest Fae, and it says, "The Autumn Fae, go slowly and listen closely for the words of the tree spirits." Okay, so there's some serious tree energy here too. Depending on when you're watching this, there could be an importance in autumn. So if you're watching this as soon as it comes up, I'm posting this in December, so we're kind of in winter now, at the very, very, very end of autumn. We haven't quite reached the winter solstice, so technically we're still in autumn. If you're catching this immediately. If not, this could talk about some significance in the autumn period for you. So maybe something really important has just happened in this autumn period, or something vital is coming into the future. There's a flicker of this candle. As I said that, interesting, and some sparkle sounds. You can't see the full candle, but it's looking right over here. So there is an importance in this autumn that just passed. So it doesn't matter what time of year you're watching this, but whatever this last autumn has been for you when you're watching this, there's a significant importance in this. And so, with this go slowly and listen closely to the words of the tree spirits, go slowly is important here. It's almost like there's this slow beginning happening here. Let's take a look at the Shamanic Healing Oracle. I do feel like there's a new beginning energy in this. I'm not sure why, but that's kind of what's popping up in my brain right now. So there's a potential that new beginnings will be important into this reading. Let's find out. With the Shamanic Healing Oracle, we have Ancient Wisdom, and look at more trees. There is an importance here for you, pile number 1, in the forest, in trees, in being in wilderness and in the nature. I think there's a huge importance for you in that. So whether or not you like to go outside or you like to take time outdoors, there is a real need, I think, for you, pile number 1, to take some time in the forest if you can. Even if that means just like woods behind a building somewhere, where it could be just a clump of trees in between parking lots. It doesn't have to be a full-on forest deep inside the woods, but you could do that if you wanted to. But there's a certain sense here where getting into nature is going to be really important for you to tune into whatever these important messages really are for you. Particularly, we said happening in your dreams. There's a sense in this reading where being in nature could really help move some energy for you. Interesting. Okay, and with Ancient Wisdom, it's like being in this forest, you start to tune into the wisdom of the trees, right? Because it said, listen carefully for the words of the tree spirits, right? So it's almost like this quieting yourself enough to be able to hear the language of nature. This is reminding me of where I'm living currently. There's this beautiful stream that flows pretty much right outside my apartment and right on my walk to work, and I walk by it every day. And there was just this like really striking thing that happened today as I was walking and looking at the stream. I was getting this sense of like almost understanding like there was a language to the water, and like if we just listen and watch, it's almost like the water itself was trying to tell me that like it wants to communicate with us and share its beauty and share its wisdom. I'm getting that sort of feeling from this. It's almost like, the trees want to talk to you. You know, there's like that feeling of this. It's interesting. I've done some readings in the past of what do the tree spirits want you to know. So honestly, pile number one, I'm giving you a little bit of homework. If you want another reading to listen to, there may be some important messages in that. One of my tree spirit readings I've done in the past. I've done two of them. So you could look that up on my channel. Messages from the trees. There could be something extra in that for you. But regardless of that, I think like actually going out into the forest may be an important thing for you here, because there's ancient wisdom that wants to come to you, right? There's messages in the trees themselves and the way that the trees exist and live in this world. There's something about it that it's some kind of knowing that wants to come into your life that may be helping you in this moment, and that might be one way that the universe can communicate with you and actually bring you these important messages. And we'll look at the cards to get a further understanding, but it's almost like, you know, there's different sources that want to talk to you here, right? And, you know, they may be able to communicate with you in a way that you understand better in your dreams, you know, in actual words and symbols, but also in the ways that the forest and the trees move. And I'm just getting this image of trees blowing in the wind, and somehow that having a certain symbolic message for you, right? That, like, this is interesting. So I'm not sure if you've read, I don't even remember the name of the book, so never mind, doesn't matter. But there's this idea, right, that as we move through our spiritual development, as we move through this reality, we start to see everything as metaphor, and that everything that's happening in nature is a way of communicating to you important information that you need in that moment. And that, you know, even you know, for instance, the basics, and it's funny because this isn't the pile that you got, but I'm being drawn to the feather here for this other reading. You know, for instance, if you find a feather on your path, hold on. Oh no, never mind. We're fine. We're fine. There's just that buzzing going on. I don't know if you could hear that, but there was some buzzing in the pipes. So there's some important information in that. You know, just like, remember how at a part of this reading I talked about how the candle flicker was a message confirming what I was saying, and then now we have the feather there being a message from the universe to confirm information. And then there was that buzzing happening above me that could help confirm what is an important thing, right? There's something about that here for you. And that's kind of what I was trying to explain, that as you communicate with nature and with this reality, that those external and internal combinations where, oh, there's a thing happening in my external, that is giving me an indication of something on my internal that is allowing me to understand something further. There's some deep importance here for you in developing this sort of connection with the world as you move forward, because this kind of interconnectedness will help you to, through things, right? And that this is how the universe is communicating with you. It's almost like this reading is not just what does the universe want you to know. It's almost like the universe wants to be able to speak directly to you. And this is one way that it can do that, is through these symbols in the world around us. So, okay, let's keep going. So now we're going to get into the tarot. I'm going to start out with the Smithwaite deck here. And we have, and I'm not reading reversals, just everything upright. The Knight of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the World, yes, okay, yep. And the Seven of Wands. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, so basically, this is kind of continuing on with what I'm saying. What the universe wants to talk to you about is this sort of new beginnings energy, right? And it's not necessarily, there's no new beginnings card yet. There might be one in here, but with the world is moving on to the next chapter. And as I was saying that, one of these candles jumped. So there is this importance in this information. It's like this fall, the autumn that has just passed, whichever, like I said, open reading. So this could be many, many months ago, or it could be, at the very end of the season, depending on when you're watching this. But whatever past fall has come up, it was an opening for you into a new plane, a new way, a new moment, and a new chapter with the world here. And it may be a new chapter that involves the world, right? You can take that however you want to interpret it. But with this new chapter here, it's moving very swiftly. There's a change in the energy that is moving fast. And where this change is coming in is in the heart center with the cups here. The Knight of Cups, knights to me talk about where the movement of the energy is moving in the reading. And so for you, there is a sense here that the movement that's happening, and it's happening very quickly, is a movement towards feeling fulfilled in yourself. And something has happened where you now have the ability to feel more fulfilled in your own sense of self and your own being, because with the Queen of Wands here, something has happened where you are putting you're putting the things that inspire you higher on your priorities list than maybe you have in the past. And the universe wants to talk to you about this and say, yes, this is it, exactly. But it's almost like this was just the beginning of it, and I'm almost feeling kind of digital with this, which is interesting. I've never felt that before, but there's almost something digital to me in this moment about the Seven of Wands, which talks about swift moving action. So it's almost like some kind of digital technological thing that you've been working on or something, or it's almost like technology is going to help you achieve something or complete something in some way. That's random, but that's how I'm feeling with this. Almost like there's this thing called Moore's Law, which may or may not still be a thing, but basically it's that technology improves itself at an exponential rate. And so it's just getting faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster exponentially. I'm feeling that from this. It's almost like you've got this exponential jolt of energy happening in this moment for you. And this jolt of energy, you're kind of like on a roll, is something that is important to follow here. And something about technology might actually be vital to your life right now in helping bring about this inspired action for you. So roll with that. The universe wants to talk and highlight that for whatever reason, that there's an importance in the technological aspects of your life right now, to focus on that, focus on not, overly relying on it, but allowing the technology to bring you further, allowing the technical things. Maybe there's something about technology that can help you speed things up. To take it as it resonates for you, for your situation, but it's almost like, maybe there's something you could automate in the process of what you're trying to achieve, and that development of automation may in fact bring about exponential ability to grow something. With the Knight of Cups, it's something that's really going to make you happy, and prioritizing your own happiness. Maybe automating some part of your life will open up more time for your own personal happiness, potentially, something like that. But it's interesting that I'm getting such digital vibes and technical vibes from here, because we also have, this very heavy nature spirit. So maybe it's almost like the digital will help you get back to nature. And that sounds a little counterintuitive, but it's almost like if you're able to automate some of the technical sides of things, then you can just go off and be in nature more and spend more time doing these other things by automating other things in your life. Take that as it resonates. But I do feel for a lot of people here, there's an importance in allowing some sort of technical automated processes to help you in whatever you're doing. Let's look at the rest of these cards. We have the Death card. Yeah, so some serious new beginnings here. Interesting. The Five of Pentacles. Okay. And the Mother of Pentacles, which is the Queen of Pentacles in most decks. Yeah, so there really is, you know, I think this death moment happened in the past. Death, it doesn't have to be scary, mind you. Sometimes people can get triggered by this card, which I don't blame you. I mean, it's death. Death is a tough thing to face, but this doesn't mean actual death. It means the end of a moment, a period, a thing, an idea, a circumstance, the end of one of those, and the beginning of something new. And, you know, the beginning here is this new chapter. So this fall has been the beginning. The death happened earlier, I think, for you. And it's an ending here of the Five of Pentacles and the beginning of the ultimate Pentacles. So it's like the Five of Pentacles is this it's the Dark Night of the Soul card in the deck. And a Dark Night of the Soul period is a period in someone's life where you experience an extreme amount of difficulty. And that difficulty happens because of all sorts of different reasons. But it's sort of like it's like rock bottom emotionally. And where you're finally at the point where you can open up to this sort of universal communication that I was talking about before, right? And so maybe if you're catching this, you either knew exactly what I was talking about because this is something you've done before, or this is an eye-opening moment for you. But a lot of times, we have to experience a dark night of the soul to open ourselves up to this universal understanding. So if you've been through some really deep challenges in your past, not that it's like you have to go through those in order to be able to do this kind of thing. I don't necessarily think that's true, but I do think that it can jumpstart this process of finally being able to listen, because you get to the point where you cannot distract yourself from the outside anymore. You exhaust all of those options where, you know, you're finally at the end of that rope, and the only option left is to open yourself up to the universe itself and to finally be able to hear these communications, these messages, these openings, you know. And it's not literal, right? Like I said, I mean, it could be, I don't know, if you're clairaudient, is that what they call it? Or some kind of, you know, ability to actually hear messages, you know. Take that as it resonates, because sometimes, you know, hearing voices is not the best thing, especially if they're, you know, not nice voices, right? So, you know, take that how you want. But the kind of communication I'm talking about is this deeply symbolic communication where, you know, it's like the flicker of the candle means something, where the feather in your path means something, right? And it means something specific, and you develop the meanings of these things with the universe itself. I know for me, when this sort of thing was first starting for me, it came in numbers, and the drome in JUNODROME comes from palindrome, because I communicate, and I don't do it as much, but at the beginning, when I was really at my personal dark night of the soul, rock bottom, I communicated with spirit finally in the beginning, the universe, however you want to say it, through these palindromical, these palindrical numbers, these palindromes, where, you know, I would see 0110, or like, you know, 473374, right? These palindromes. For me, it was this big opening where it's like, okay, this is the universe. Okay, I'm here. I'm connected. Don't tell me why. I don't know. But that for me was the thing for me that opened me up to all of this kind of thing. You know, so you could look for angel numbers or whatever, you know, those 111, 222, 333s, you know, those could be important. 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning you're on a roll, you're getting things forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning you're on to the next step. Those are, for my personal meanings, you know, you take them for you. But those kinds of numbers, those kinds of communications, those kinds of things is what I'm talking about here. I feel like you've already moved out of that. You know, that's kind of what the big last chapter was, the close of this, and the moving into, with the Mother of Pentacles. That's crazy. Okay. 1 second. Sorry. In the incense that I have here in the smoke, I just saw a spider, like a big one. which doesn't have to be scary, and I'm not going to take it as a scary symbol. I actually think, a lot of times spiders, they are the weavers of the web. So, webs, internet, that's one symbol. First of all, there is some digital messages for somebody here who's watching this. It could be everybody, could be just a few people, but there's some deep importance in digital communication here. So take that as it resonates. But also, the spider weaves a web to catch the flies. And so it's almost like this period that's opening up for you is this deeply important beginning where you are weaving a web to finally catch, the abundance here with the Mother of Pentacles. Whatever that is, it's like this is this opening, this foundation for you to finally open up to this sort of thing. And this chapter that you've begun now is one in which you're able to do this more than maybe you have in the past. Yeah. So anyway, what are we at here? Yeah, I think this was a good reading. I'm going to leave it here, pile number 1. So let me know in the comments what you think either way. If this reading really jumped out at you, really resonated, let me know. I love to hear from everyone. Like I said, this is a bit of an old school style reading, so it might be low on the editing, but I just want to get these out to you and I want to get the channel moving. So if you ever have any suggestions on readings you'd like from me, please let me know. The only thing I probably won't do might be a romance reading because I'm not really a romance channel kind of a person, but maybe I'll try one again. I don't know. I've only done one on this channel, and that was at the very beginning, so maybe I'll do one again someday. But let me know in the comments what kind of reading you want from me. I like these open-ended ones. If you're okay with these 2 pile readings, let me know too, because my midweek readings, in between some of the bigger ones that I do, might be more 2 piles as opposed to just a general reading, so that you at least have some choice. So anyway, pile number 1, thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you later. See ya. Hi there, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So this is going to be your reading for what do you need to hear? What does the universe need to communicate to you in this moment? And you chose the pile with this beautiful feather card here. These top cards I use come from the How to Be a Wildflower deck by Katie Daisy. And the back of this card says, "My soul is awakened, my spirit is soaring, and carried aloft on the wings of the breeze," by Anne Bronte, one of the Bronte sisters. So there is a bit of important information here on soaring for you. I think you're in a moment, in a period of soaring, and or this kind of period is about to open up to you. And what the universe wants you to know in this moment is that you have the freedom to fly, to soar, to roam wherever you choose, and that freedom cannot be taken from you. And that even if you may feel trapped or blocked or stuck or unable to move, that those feelings may not be the actual truth, and that in reality you have the ability to move wherever you want, whether that be literal or symbolic. There's a real importance in highlighting for you in this reading, pile number 2, that movement is truly possible for you. So this reading, I think, is going to be all about that. Interesting. Okay, this is very different energy than pile number 1. I love that. I love that. We're moving into something else. So let's see. First up, what I did for the last pile, and I think I'm going to do for you too, pile number 2, is we're going to look at these oracle cards first. So our first oracle card comes from the Forest Fae, and we have Gatekeeper. Let go. All things are possible on the Borderlands. Okay, so Borderlands, whatever. But oh, Gatekeeper too. Okay, interesting. No, I'm getting some good symbols from this. But the most important thing from this, there's two things. Let go, first of all, and all things are possible, right? I think there's a real importance here that the universe is trying to communicate with you in this moment, pile number 2, is that you really do have infinite possibility ahead of you. That any option is possible for you. And that you may be feeling deeply limited right now in your options, whatever's going on, but that limitation is a self-imposed limit. And so there's an important message here for letting go. Let go of this thing. I'm thinking of Frozen, but it's there. And there's a beep outside, so let it go. But that's important for you, pile number 2. There's something about that. There's something about like truly embracing that mentality. There was a point in my life where I got this message back in 2019 in a bunch of readings on YouTube, and that was I had to embrace it, and I did. And it's one of the most freeing things you can do for yourself. And it doesn't mean you have to give up everything or anything. It just means letting go of, expectation is huge. Letting go of expectation, letting go of what you think things are, and allowing things to just be. It's a difficult thing to do, but sometimes in life we can get very trapped in the way that we think about things, and it's very easy to happen. It happens from experiences, from circumstances. Things happen to us, with us, around us. We observe situations that make us predict that the future will be the same, right? We have situations that occur, we have things that happen where we continue, just because of our brains are designed for pattern recognition, we continue to think that if X happened yesterday, that means X will happen tomorrow. But ultimately, that's not necessarily the case. And because we have this funny thing where we're co-creating our reality with the universe, like I said, this is a message from the universe. I don't think we have 100% control over what happens. I think it's a collective thing. I think it's an individual thing. So we're co-creating our reality with everyone else around us, and with the universe itself, and with the physical world itself. That's my personal belief anyway. Because we are co-creating this reality, we have the ability to if we expect something to happen, that's what we're going to see, that result, right? And so these kinds of expectations can deeply limit your ability to open up to that infinite possibility that's actually here for you. And with the gatekeeper there, it's almost like, I feel like you are, this term gatekeeping, have you heard of the term gatekeeping? Basically, it means that a gatekeeper in culture can be someone who says, yes, this is in, no, this is out, right? Yes, that's cool, no, it's not cool, whatever. I feel like you are almost gatekeeping yourself here, pile number 2. And so this letting go is sort of like opening the gates that are blocking your ability to set sail in the direction you truly want for yourself, right? It's almost like you've closed many doors for yourself. And so the big symbol here for you, pile number 2, the big importance for you is to open that metaphorical door in front of you. And you may feel like the key is locked, but let's together do some visualization. I'm staring at these candles. I'm feeling like I'm in this like beautiful magical energy here. So join me and let's do some magic. Let's manifest for you. Let's do some visualization. So in front of you, okay, no, I'm going to do a little mini guided meditation. Okay, so imagine that you are walking down a hallway. This hallway can look however it needs to look for you, but there is an echoing sound as you walk, and each step is clank, 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 clanking ahead of you, and you can hear it all around you. There's light in this hallway. It's soft. It's not scary. It's actually kind of nice. It's white in color. Maybe a little bit cold, but not too cold. I'm feeling that from this. So you're walking along this hallway. There's echoing sounds. There's something a little bit comforting about this echoing sound, but there's a bit of a hesitation that you're feeling. Not scared, not apprehensive too badly, but just a little bit of a hesitation, but you're walking forward anyway. This is a long, long hallway. As you move along, finally, you start to see that there is a wall ahead of you at the very end of the hallway. And you're walking, and finally you make it to the end of this hallway, and there's a door. There's a door in front of you, but it's closed, and it looks like maybe it's locked. You don't know, but there is this doorway. So I'd like you to reach out, pile number 2. Reach your hand out and touch the doorknob. It's metal. It's a little bit cool. You might be feeling this apprehension, but open it anyway. Open the door. It's not locked. You thought it was locked, but actually it's not, and it swings open. So what do you want to do, pile number 2? Are you going to walk through the door? Or are you going to stay watching it? That's up for you. But if you'd like, I open up the possibility for you to walk through the door. So if you feel like you are ready for a new beginning, a new moment, infinite possibility, imagine yourself walking through this door, and as you do, as you cross through the threshold, melting behind you, being left in the hallway, are the blocks that you were feeling, the gatekeeping that you were doing for yourself, all of these things that you've been holding you back. Imagine those falling away behind you, and now, in wherever you have gone, you might not know where you are, but you have infinite possibility ahead of you. That was fun. Okay, and then the next card here comes from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and we have masculine energy. All right, so masculine energy. This, you can see, is a bit of the sun going there. It's also a sunflower. That's kind of beautiful. So as you move forward, as you open yourself to infinite possibility, there's a need or a suggestion from the universe, as this is important messages coming from the universe itself. There's a suggestion here to open yourself up to action, taking inspired action ahead of you. So not only is this about letting go of the things that have been holding you back, letting go of the things that have been keeping you, but if you'd like to flow forward into this life as free as you can, there may be some important steps that you actually need to take to get there. So be open to taking action, I think, is big here with the masculine. The masculine energy is all about doing. The feminine energy is about allowing and opening, which that letting go is about. So it's like, as you let this go, then you have the action to take, right? And so by letting go, you open yourself up to the possibility to have these actions. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Okay, so let's keep going. Next up, we have some tarot cards, and the first round comes from the Smith-Waite deck. Oh, this is very, very beautiful, pile number 2. You have the 10 of Pentacles. This is a wonderful card. This card is the ultimate abundance card, and it takes time. Let me read all these cards, and then we'll get into it. Our next card is the Page of Wands. So this new energy, new start towards your inspirations here. And look he looks so similar to this gatekeeper. You see, they're holding the same rod there. That's cool. Oh, and I just noticed this. Wow, look he's got feathers on his wand, his staff. And we open up with the feather pile. That's so beautiful. I'm sorry. That's great. I just noticed that. Okay, we've got the Page of Cups. Ooh, 2 pages. Definitely a new start here for you, pile number 2. You have a new life ahead of you should you choose to open yourself up to it. And that's beautiful. Final, the Magician. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful card to come out. I really like this reading, pile number 2. This is nice. This is nice. It's great. It's funny. It is very different energy from the first pile. So that's cool too. I like that. Yeah, and this masculine energy, it's not just masculine energy, it's also the sun here. Like there's some serious sun energy coming in for you here, pile number 2, which is wonderful. So let's talk about this 10 of Pentacles, this ultimate abundance. The thing about this card is it's not an instantaneous card. It takes time. It talks about the abundance gained over a lifetime. And when I say abundance, a lot of times our brains, particularly in our society, the way things are, even in spiritual circles, when you think abundance, you tend to think of money, right? Pretty much immediately. But this isn't about that necessarily. It's actually about the things that money gets you, right? And not just physical things, right? But also, think about how having means can allow you to have stability, right? That's about what we're talking about with this abundance. And so there's a sense here. This is the abundance that you can build over a lifetime. Should you choose to work towards your stability for a lifetime, right? So, this isn't something that has to exist tomorrow. This is something that comes from patience, from time, from allowing yourself to create this over time. Over time, this is an over time understanding of things, and so you're at kind of the first stages of this, which isn't always the best place. Not best. Actually, it can be the best place to be, honestly. A new beginning, a fresh new start, sometimes that's more than any of us get, right? So that can be one of the most amazing things in the world to have a new start. But also sometimes being in the beginning energy can be a little frustrating, right? Because, you've got a lot ahead of you sometimes. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It doesn't mean that it can't happen. It just means that there's an opening here as you walk through this new door, as you open yourself up to infinite possibility, which you have ahead of you. You have the ability to make this stuff happen. And so, take some time to learn a few things here with these pages. The pages, they can talk about being students sometime. And, even if you're not an actual student, we are all students of life, right? That's what life is. Think about, those philosophies, and I kind of subscribe to them myself. Not everybody does, but if you think about reincarnation, and you think about, how some people think that we spend lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes developing ourselves, which I actually personally, I actually do believe that. But if you think about that, think about one lifetime, is a lot. It's a big opportunity. But it's almost like, we have, countless lifetimes of exploring and understanding. So one life is school, it's school. And it's the, the learning of the soul. And so there is this, beauty here of being open to learning new things. And, this opening, this is a part of this letting go energy is, like I said, when we get stuck in that understanding of things, that I know everything, I've been through it before, I know it's not going to work, I know that I can't do this, I know that this won't work, I know this and I know that, and I know that this is this. And, if you lock yourself into knowing everything, quote unquote, you can't allow anything new to happen. But if you open yourself up to the idea of being curious, being the beginner, embracing the idea that maybe you don't know anything at all, right? Maybe you actually don't know anything. That's how I feel. a lot of the time, and I know a lot of facts about a lot of things, but ultimately, do I know everything? No. I think I probably barely know anything at all, If you think about the um, if you think about the infinite nature of all things, I could only in one lifetime, in all lifetimes, uh, experience just a small, tiny speck of that. So if I keep my mind open, if I keep myself curious, if I keep an open mind about life, about the world, about everything, about my situation, then I allow for myself to have new things to come in, to have a new sense of understanding, to bring a new reality into my life. And then change is more possible because I open myself up to being curious, right? And this isn't something that has always been the case for me. No, not at all. In fact, I would say back a few years ago, back in 2019, I hit my own personal rock bottom in life. But before I opened myself up to curiosity again, I was very, very close minded. And it happened over time. It happened based on circumstance. It happened based on who I was around and what I was doing and all sorts of different factors. But I thought I knew everything, um, you know? And, and I did not. It's sometimes it's this sort of nihilism that sets in where we think everything is terrible and I know it's terrible and there's nothing can change that and blah blah blah. It's so easy. It's so easy to think that way, right? Because it's easy to think that that's the case because it's simple, right? It's simple. It makes things simple. If everything is terrible, that's a very simple way of understanding things. Then I don't have to think too hard about anything else. Then the nuance of things being sticky and not quite one way, not quite the other. We don't have to think about that. We can just think, nope, everything's bad, whatever, doesn't matter. But that's also a deeply soul-crushing perspective on life, and it gets you locked into one way of being, one way of thinking, one way of seeing, and blocks change from being possible. And so, if you embrace this curiosity, this new mindset, then you open up the magician for yourself. You open up the ability to create a new world for yourself that you're looking to, that threshold opening up. Like I said, we did that visualization today. That's a part of what magic is all about, those kinds of visualizations, that visualizing things can bring things closer. Now, like I said, personally, I don't know if I said this, but I'm going to say it. Personally, I don't necessarily believe in instantaneous manifestation. What does that mean? That means I don't personally, you can think whatever you want. Maybe you have experience that goes against what I'm saying, but personally, I don't believe that instantaneous manifestation is possible. I don't think we can just snap our fingers and something changes. Maybe some people can, I don't know. But I do think that we can change our perspective, and that can open us up to new realities, right? That 3 years ago, I did not think anything was possible for me. I thought I was stuck where I was stuck, and that I couldn't do anything, that I couldn't go places, I couldn't travel, I couldn't open myself up to that. Well, here 3 years later, I have moved to a new country. I'm doing something completely different with my life. I have left the job that I hated, the industry I hated working in. Did it happen instantaneously? No, it did not. It took me 3 years to get here. Am I 100% where I want to be in life? No, I'm not. I don't know if I'll ever be because I'm a perfectionist and, I'm hard on myself. But am I much happier right now than I have been in many years? Yes. Very, very much so. And it took me opening myself up to the new possibility, allowing myself to embrace that let it go energy, opening up to the infinite possibility, telling myself I was at the beginning, being okay with being at the beginning, and working slowly over time that magic to change my reality. And it worked. It worked. It took time, took energy, took differences, but I opened myself up, I worked on myself, and I made change happen. So if I can do it, you can do it. 100%. 100%. There's nothing special about me. I'm just another person, right? So if one person can do it, you can use that as inspiration to know that it is possible for you as well. Final cards. Six of Pentacles. Yep, continuing what we're saying. I like this. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, new beginning. Oh, cool. So you have the 10 of Pentacles, right? That abundance is the conclusion of a lifetime. But now we're at the first steps, right? The Ace, the beginnings. So take those first steps. They're here for you. The Justice card. Yes. And the 3 of Wands, which is that portal, that open door. Here it is. Here is the open door, the portal that we talked about, that we visualized. It's here for you. It's open. It's ready for you to walk through, to open yourself to this. It's beautiful. Now, with the Justice card, there's a sense here of truly balancing yourself, and being in a state of balance may actually help you here. And the Justice is like a cosmic balance, but by opening yourself up to balancing your life a little bit more, instead of being totally in everything's terrible all the time negative zone, allowing yourself to open yourself up to possibilities more, being in this balance between these states may actually help you move forward here. And with the 6 of Pentacles, this talks about reaping what you sow, right? So it's like, if you do this work, you will see the results, right? If you decide to change and open up to change and move into something new, you will open yourself up to these new possibilities that truly want to come into your life right now. And that's what the universe wants you to know. Pile number 2. So anyway, pile number 2, I'm going to leave you there. That's it from me. So I hope that reading resonated with you. Let me know in the comments what you think of it either way. I love hearing from everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next reading. Oh, I didn't do my spiel. So currently I'm not giving private readings, but you can still reach me on the website at www.junodrome.com. If you need to ask any kinds of questions or you just want to say hi, you can find me there. Anyway, pile number 2. Catch you later. Bye.